Have you ever caught a flight on zero sleep? We had to leave our house by 4 a.m. in order to catch our flight in Orlando on time. After trying to sleep till 3 a.m., we decided it was a lost cause and headed in the car and headed straight for Orlando to park our car. We knew Orlando Airport would be busy as usual, so we wanted to make sure we had as much time as possible. We made sure to arrive 3 hours early. It was an international flight, so we could not use our boarding passes on our phones and had to get paper boarding passes. Our flight from Orlando to St. Martin was about 3 hours long. We topped off our no sleep with some mimosas because why not? Landing in St. Martin is rumored to be one of the most dangerous airports to land in. And after our landing, I believe that. We had a missed landing and had to bank back up, which was quite an experience, but all's well that ends well. We landed on the ground on the beautiful island of St. Martin. We cleared customs really quickly and were able to grab a shuttle to our rental car. We were wide awake after our missed landing at Princess Juliana Airport. Even though we were kind of a mess from a crazy travel day, we were starving and we could not miss the opportunity to head up Maho Beach. So we headed straight there from the airport to grab some food and see the planes coming in landing. When we were at the beach, everybody kept asking if we were on the flight that had to bank back up really quick because it missed its landing. We were, so we felt like we were famous. But apparently this is a common occurrence, so don't be scared and don't let it stop you from going to St. Martin. The dangerous airport drama, it was well worth it because let me just tell you, the food at the Driftwood was chef's kiss. Go there to the Driftwood instead of going to the touristy sandbar right next to it. Thank me later while you're eating your authentic Caribbean food. If you're up for the challenge, I recommend renting a car in St. Martin. Disclaimer, the drivers and the roads are a little crazy. It's not for the faint of heart. But if you are up for the challenge, it's easy to get around that way. Shout out to my man who's the MVP travel chauffeur and never complains despite whatever crazy road trip I lead him on. We made it to our timeshare at Oyster Bay Beach Resort, and here's your quick room tour. Let's check out the view. Definitely not too shabby. I think that'll do for the week. We spent some time trying to figure out who owns those houses on the hill. I heard Tom Cruise owns one of them. Do you think that's true? The bathroom has a bidet. Guys, what are your feelings on those? Yay or nay? I've been spending a lot of time on this balcony enjoying the view. At this point, I think the lack of sleep is starting to get to me, so it's probably time to relax a little bit and maybe even take a nap. Just kidding, I'm on vacation, I'm not gonna nap. I knew we had a lot scheduled for the next couple days, and since we had had a hectic day before and travel experience, I decided it was a great day to explore the resort, hang by the pool, eat some food, and just generally try to de-stress from the travel day that we had the day before. We walked around and took photos, and we encountered this super aggressive iguana that charged at me, and he created an obstacle and we couldn't even get around him, but we finally did. Then we went to the marina, and my boyfriend was talking about all the different boats and the engines they had and explaining it, and I acted like I knew what he was talking about, but I didn't. I think I did a good job though. And then we went to brunch. Don't pass up the Sunday brunch at the Infinity Restaurant at Oyster Bay Beach Resort. It is amazing. And they give you 2 free mimosas with brunch, so definitely worth it. After that, we went out to the pool and we got some drinks by the pool, swam around, went in the jacuzzi. St. Martin is divided up into 2 sides of the island, the Dutch side and the French side. Tourists are free to travel between the two without a passport, as there is no border. However, both sides of this island are very different and each dependent on their own countries. We headed over to Grand Case on the French dependency side of St. Martin. I couldn't wait to try out the French and Indian cuisine at Grand Case's famous Lolo's. The water and beaches on the French side of St. Martin are absolutely incredible. Look at that. Look at the color, you guys. We got to talk to the locals and we learned something very sad. Many of these rundown buildings that you will see in some of this footage are still here from Hurricane Irma, which was 6 years ago in 2017. St. Martin is still struggling to recover from this hurricane. The island of St. Martin is heavily dependent on tourism for its livelihood, and it never fully recovered after Hurricane Irma. So please, I'm begging you, tell your friends, tell your family, go to St. Martin. It's beautiful. There's absolutely no reason not to be traveling here and spending your money. You will have an incredible vacation, and you're also helping out the people and local businesses of this beautiful island. After having some of the best Caribbean food we've ever had in our life in Grand Case, we headed over to Margot, the capital of the French side of St. Martin, to check out some of the famous markets. I had one of the best frozen drinks I've ever had from this locally owned fruit stand made with fresh fruit. We walked around the city a little bit, and then we hit up the markets. I was able to buy a couple things from some of the local vendors there. After shopping, we got back in the car and we headed back to the Dutch side of St. Maarten where we were staying at our resort. We rented a car, which is how we were able to see so much during our trip and also enjoy these beautiful views. Back at the resort, we actually had an unexpected experience. We experienced our first 6.7 earthquake, which was a little bit unsettling, but we were back downstairs having fun on our vacation in no time. One of my favorite things is finding spots to drink my coffee on vacation. I think this might be one of my favorite views. We had plans to visit the Rusty Parrot Pirate Experience, and we headed right over. First, we took a walk around outside, and I could see in the distance where the cruise ships docked. We toured the Rusty Parrot, and we learned about some of the real pirates of the Caribbean, like Calico Jack and Aunt Bonnie. Then we walked up to the upper deck and checked out these views. I still cannot get over the color of the water. We ate a little bit of food, had a couple drinks, took some photos, played some games, and then we headed over to Philipsburg. We parked back in the market, so we were able to walk up and go to some of the shops on the way up to the boardwalk. They definitely have some cool restaurants here, and it's a little bit more of a touristy area. They had some nice beaches, so we took a dip in the water because it was super hot. Found a cute little grocery store where we got some snacks to bring back to the resort. This place was cool. Apparently, you can rent cabanas here for $10 for the day. Then we headed back to the resort, and we had 3 monkeys run in front of our car. I didn't even know there were monkeys in St. Maarten. I had the best ceviche I ever had in my life, and I ate it every single night afterwards. I can't even enjoy this beautiful view this morning. My nerves are absolutely shot. Today is the day we're supposed to go zip lining down an entire mountain and try out the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is the steepest zip line in the world. On the ride over, it was all I could think about. We rode up on the chairlift, which was equally as scary. First, we did the canopy tour, and then it was time for me to go up to the top. The views up here were insane, but I couldn't even enjoy them because my nerves were so shot, and I had to do 2 shots to calm myself down. But I faced my fear of heights, and I did it. I zip-lined down the mountain. After that, we headed over to Caribbean Feisty Flavors, a restaurant owned by some locals, and it was absolutely fantastic. The best food we had there. The ride home got a little crazy. As I told you, the roads are kind of wild here. There are big ditches on the side of the road, and yeah, we ended up driving into one of them. Here's a little bit of me happened to catching that on recording. We did get out of the ditch though, good news, and we headed back to the resort to relax. We had a slow start that morning and headed over to Philipsburg to walk around town. There was a couple cruise ships in port, so it was a little bit crowded. It was easily one of the hottest days of our vacation, and there was no wind in sight, so we headed into Dutch Blonde Beach Bar to cool off. We were able to get some pics of the views and also get something to eat while we were there. Afterwards, we headed down for a swim on the beach because, like I said, it was super hot. Then we jumped in the car and headed back to the resort. Back at the resort, I wanted to take some time to walk around and explore some spots I hadn't seen before. I found this cool little mini putting range. My walk was just in time for sunset. One of the things I love about St. Maarten is how the water meets the mountains and the palm trees. In the back of the resort, they had this cool little beach. They definitely had a lot of seaweed on it, but tried to clean it up daily. It was a nice spot to go for a walk, but probably not the best for a swim. I found a convenience store on site and grabbed some snacks to bring back to the room. I took some time to enjoy this peaceful spot, and later we went for a night swim. After having my coffee on my balcony, we went out for a little walk around the resort. We stayed right on the border of the French and the Dutch side, and our pool had spectacular views. This is the point in the vacation where I torture my family by making them take 100 photos of us just to get the perfect one. And they absolutely love it. Don't you dare let them tell you differently. I was obsessed with the ceviche and my son was obsessed with the calamari, so we ordered some food by the pool and relaxed a little bit. We saw this bird and he had a broken beak, which was really sad, but we fed him and he seemed happy about it. The day before, we made plans to check out a brewery. So we headed over to Caribbean Brewing Company for a wine tour and to sample their beer that you can pour right out of the tap. This is the only beer brewed right on the island of St. Maarten. After our brewery tour, we headed back to our resort to relax a little bit. The sun was going down and we decided it was time for some pool time. Shout out to David and Happy Hour. I will seriously be missing this place. The other thing I will be missing is the ceviche. I ate it every night. It's the best I've ever had. Why is leaving vacation or travel literally one of the worst dreading feelings in the world? At least we had this beautiful view to cheer us up on the way to the airport. Here's us at Princess Juliana Airport in St. Maarten, and now we're boarding our plane and saying goodbye to this beautiful island. We had such an incredible time. We met incredible people, we ate incredible food, and we did incredible things. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. Goodbye, St. Maarten. We love you and we miss you, and we hope to see you again. We were grateful that our flight left on time because we were tired. It had been quite the week, filled with adventures, and we were able to get the most incredible shots and footage and photography from the plane as we took off from St. Maarten. The flight back to Orlando International Airport was about 3.5 hours. And then we had to clear U.S. borders and customs when we got there. Check out my video in the mobile passport app, which really helped us get through quickly. We road tripped back to the Tampa area where we live. At home, we made some ceviche to help us reminisce on our incredible family vacation.